How many times have you had a great idea and then completely forgotten it? You read an incredible article, highlighting half of it, and never looked at it again. You took notes in a meeting that are now buried somewhere in a notebook you can't find. You saved a podcast episode to listen to later, and later never came. We are consuming more information than ever before in human history, and almost none of it sticks. The problem isn't that you're not smart enough or disciplined enough. The problem is that your brain was never designed to store all of this. It's designed to think, not to act as a hard drive. That's where building a second brain comes in. And today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what it is, how it works, and how to build one for yourself. So let's get right into it. Part 1. What is a second brain? Building a second brain is a methodology created by Tiago Forte, a productivity expert who published his book of the same name in 2022. But the ideas behind it have been developing through his online courses and writing for nearly a decade. The core concept is this: create a personal knowledge management system, a trusted digital place where you capture, organize, and retrieve everything that matters to you. Like notes, ideas, research, inspiration, project plans, things you have learned, all of it in one place, organized in a way that actually makes it useful. Forte's insight is that knowledge is your most valuable asset in the modern world, but most of us manage that knowledge terribly. We save things we never revisit, we take notes we never use, we consume constantly but retain almost nothing. A second brain changes that. It's not just a note-taking system, it's thinking partner, a place where your ideas connect, compound, and eventually become something you can actually use. Part 2. The code method. The second brain methodology is built around 4 steps, which Forte calls code: capture, organize, distill, and express. C. Capture. The first step is to save the ideas and information that resonates with you. Not everything, just what genuinely strikes you as interesting, useful, or inspiring. Forte calls this following your knowledge intuition. If something makes you think, surprises you, or feels relevant to something you're working on, capture it. If it doesn't, let it go. The key tool here is what he calls a read it later app or note-taking app. Something like Notion, Obsidian, Evernote, or Apple Notes. Whenever you encounter something worth keeping, it goes into your second brain immediately. Oh, organize. Here's where second brain gets really interesting and where it differs from most note-taking approaches. Forte recommends organizing not by topic or category, but by actionability. He developed a system called PARA, projects, things you're actively working on with a deadline or goals, areas, ongoing responsibilities you maintain over time, like health, finances, or a work role. resources, topics you're interested in that might be useful someday, like research, references, inspiration, archives, everything that's inactive but worth keeping. The key insight: when you save a note, you put it in the project or area where it will be most useful, not where it logically belongs. Organization serves action, not taxonomy. D. Distill. This is the step most people skip, and it's what makes a second brain genuinely powerful. For this technique, here is called progressive summarization. When you save a note, you don't just dump the whole thing in and move on. Over time, you layer highlights on top of it. Bold the most important sentences. Then highlight the most important of those. Then write a short summary at the top. Each time you revisit a note, you distill it further. So when you eventually need it in a project, a presentation, a conversation, the key insights are right here. You're not rereading everything, you're reading the concentrated essence. E. Express. The final step is the whole point. Use what you have captured. A second brain isn't a museum, it's a workshop. The goal isn't to collect knowledge, it's to create with it. Write the article, build the project, give the talk, ship the product. Forte empathizes what he calls intermediate packets, small, reusable units of work. A summary you wrote, a diagram you made, an outline you drafted. These become building blocks you can remix and reuse across projects, so you are never starting from scratch. The second brain doesn't just store ideas, it generates creative output. Part 3. The PARA system in practice. Let's make PARA more concrete, because it's one of the most immediately useful things you can take from this methodology. Imagine you're saving an article about nutrition. Where does it go? If you are currently working on a health-focused project, say preparing for a marathon, it goes in projects under that marathon folder. It's immediately actionable. If nutrition is an ongoing area of your life you manage, like your general wellness, it goes in areas. If it's just interesting and might be useful someday, it goes in resources, under something like health or nutrition. And if it's an old note that's no longer active, but you don't want to delete, archives. The magic of PARA is that it's not about perfect categorization. It's about frictionless retrieval. You always know where to look because everything is organized around what you're doing, not what a topic is. Part 4. Getting started with your second brain. You don't need to build the perfect system on one day. Here's how to start simply. Pick one tool, like Notion, Obsidian, Evernote, or Apple Notes, Roam Research. There are many options. The best one is whichever you'll actually use. Don't spend weeks choosing. Pick one and start. Set up your PARA folders. Create your top level folders like projects, areas, resources, and archives. That's it. Don't over-engineer it. Start capturing. The next article you read, the next idea you have, the next thing that makes you think. Put it in. Build the habit of capture before you worry about anything else. Do a weekly review. Once a week, spend a few minutes moving things from your inbox into the right para folder and checking in on your active projects. Keep it light. 15 minutes is enough. Create something. Find one note you have saved and use it. Write a short summary. Draft a paragraph. Build an outline. Activate your knowledge. That's what the whole system is for. Building a second brain isn't about becoming a perfect archivist. It's about becoming someone who actually uses what they learn. Most of us are rich in information and poor in insight. A second brain flips that. It turns the ideas you consume into the work you create. Start small. 1 tool, 4 folders, 1 note a day. If this resonated with you, hit like and subscribe button. I cover productivity systems like this regularly, and there's a lot more coming. And leave a comment. What's one idea, article, or piece of knowledge you wish you hadn't lost? I'd love to hear that. Until next time, build the system your brain deserves. Bye.